Something I want to talk about is feeling not enough for your dream. Pull up a chair and let's have a chat, because I'm going to explain my story to you in hopes that you can see some similarities and understand that we're enough for our dream only when we decide we're enough for our dream. Hi there, welcome back to the channel. My name's Lisa. If you're new here, I'm sharing my journey about leaving everything behind in North America, coming to a beautiful island in the Portuguese Azores to reconnect with my roots and to create a new life with my family and the sassiest little bulldog you've ever met in your life. That's Diesel. He'll make a little present soon. But today I'm out of the house, out of the garden, coming to you from another lava rock. You probably shouldn't be surprised by that. It's one of my favorite places on earth. And I know when I do episodes, I talk about my favorite place in the world. It's usually where I'm at in that moment because I love all the parts of the island. There's something about a lava rock that sets me on fire. All right, so grab yourself a cup of tea, something cozy. Let's have a chat because I do want to talk about something a tiny little bit serious, but we're going to have it in the most fun way because I want to confess something here. I know a lot of people take a look at this journey, and we can take a look at a lot of people's Instagram results or Facebook results and YouTube results on look at the life they're living now. But something I want to talk about is feeling not enough for your dream, because I definitely felt not enough for this dream of mine. And the reason I'm going here and having, doing this YouTube and sharing these discussions, it's not because I'm comfortable and it's not because it's something easy, but I want to pay back because there's so many people that I watched on YouTube that I watched living their lives boldly. And that helped me discover things that I really wanted, things that I refused to not have experiences around. And they kind of gave me permission to make some decisions on how I wanted to live, especially the second half of my life. So the first 50 years of my life, I spent growing up in North America, and very grateful for the opportunities and experiences I had there. The clash came because my grandparents and father were from this fabulous island that I'm speaking to you from in Toste. And they brought their traditions, other friends and family. The community that I grew up in was like a little version of the Azores. The church, the grocery store, the community center, the way we celebrated, the food we ate, the values we had, even the language that I heard was very much Portuguese. And that stuck with me and shaped so much of me. As you probably are familiar with, the first couple of years of a child's life gets really imprinted and shapes what they think about the world. And so that very much Azorean, even though it was in the context of North America. As my grandparents passed away and as change happened, especially when my grandfather died when I was 13, a lot of that seemed to change a little bit when it came to hearing the language around me so much. And so while I grew up with Portuguese, ele não fala português muito bem. And that may have sounded very impressive to someone who doesn't understand it. And to someone who does, you could hear my nervousness. So the dirty little secret that almost stopped me from taking the biggest dream of my life was the fact that I don't speak Portuguese very well. And that may seem like nothing to someone else, but our individual insecurities about our dreams are all that matters. So if you happen to have one that's stopping you from getting your big, beautiful dream that you want in your life, and someone's telling you it's nothing, it isn't nothing. I want to share with you, it can be something that either helps you overcome your biggest fears or stops you from living the life you want. So let me go first and be a little vulnerable, share mine, even though this is uncomfortable, because I want to be the person who gives you an example of what overcoming looks like so you can do it for yourself. So anyone out there listening who doesn't feel enough for your dream, pull up a chair and let's have a chat, because I'm going to explain my story to you in hopes that you can see some similarities and understand that we're enough for our dream only when we decide we're enough for our dream. Because there are lots of people along my journey, whether it was when I was younger or when I started speaking out this dream of coming back to my home country. I do that all the time, call it my home country, but this is my first time living here. See, that's an example of how much my soul is connected to this place, but I've never actually lived here. I do this all the time. I won't even edit this out. That's my truth. And probably I meant to say that so you can understand how deeply I felt connected to this place, even though I hadn't lived here. But the truth was, there were lots of times in my life where I heard because I didn't speak the language well enough that I wasn't really Portuguese. And I had family members and friends tell me, you can't go to Toste, you can't move back, you don't even speak Portuguese very well. And to be honest, that's a skill set language class is filling. I'm going 3 times a week. I've got my AI Portuguese classes, and my daughter and I are practicing with each other. So this is a gap I'm gonna close. And truthfully, one I should have closed a long time. Not for anyone else, but for me. But why didn't I? Because I had a whole whack of shame wrapped up in the fact that I couldn't speak a language I felt so connected to. I allowed other people's decisions about whether I was enoughness for something to stop me from almost claiming my dream. And I want to do this video for you, not because it's super comfortable, but because I want to say to anyone out there who needs to hear this, and you definitely don't need my permission, but you're enough already. That's all that matters. Nobody else filled out the documents, no one else got on the plane, no one else decided to claim this dream for me, and it couldn't happen a minute more before I decided I'm enough. And there's work to be done. That's the combo. Whatever you feel you're not enough in, if there's a gap you can close, if it's a language class you can take, if it's a skill set you can close, you can do it. The problem is we can't close the gap until we make the decision we're already enough. If we can't believe we already deserve it, if we can't believe that that dream on our heart is on our heart for a reason, it's because it's meant for us. Once we can make those decisions, then the language classes come. My accent actually isn't that bad, although I can hear it and I remember what my grandparents and my family sounds like, so I actually know what it sounds like, which makes this learning thing a little bit more difficult because I can hear the gap. And sometimes what's really funny is I sound exactly, have a Tressadian accent and I can pronounce complicated words really, really well. And other times I get stuck on the tiniest little words. So if you see me at the grocery store or we ever actually do meet and you see me pausing, it's just me conjugating verbs, trying to understand the past and the present. If it's an AR verb, an IR verb, it's a bit of a complex language that I'm moving through. But the difference now is I'm just moving through learning a language. I've put down the shame and I'm healing the little girl inside who felt that she wasn't enough. And the truth is I would have never been enough because I came from 2 beautiful places and I'm a combination. But I'm enough to be Lisa Toste, and that's all that actually matters. And if I think about it, I don't know who was supposed to tell me I was enough. There wasn't like some sort of document I was getting in the mail. Although it crossed my mind when I got my passport. I'm Portuguese now, but even in that moment, it wasn't what I was looking for. I was just looking to belong. And even if this beautiful island had received me, and if everyone else had said, welcome home, it wouldn't have been enough until I decided, you're good enough. Now go figure out your verbs. If you can relate to this, I hope you can give yourself permission to go after your biggest dream, to understand you're enough. And a great journaling prompt or question to ask you is, for me to feel more than enough to go after that big, bold dream I have, what would I need to believe? And the second question, and here's the clincher, is who would I need to get that belief from? And if it's from anyone else than you, that dream's always going to be just a dream. But the moment you own it, you too can end up on your own version of a lava rock somewhere on a beautiful island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Lots of love, my friends. If you'd like to stay connected to this wild little journey that I'm on, which I'm happy to share with you, please like this episode, subscribe, and you know we got a fabulous newsletter with some great questions and some more stories from a beautiful lava rock island where you are more than enough from the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Thanks everyone. See ya.